Good morning, and welcome to our shift training, our shift tactic 1. We're going to talk about ownership today, ownership mindset. All right. So, how are you this morning? Type in your chat box if you find that you are not so good. 1 is being not so good, 5 is being excellent. So, how are you feeling this morning? Let me see what you have in the chat box. Having trouble finding your keyboard? Excellent, all right. Many of you are in excellent mood, excellent mindset, all right. We want you to start with an excellent mindset. Very good. So I want you to take one more step now, using your keyboard again. Type into a chat box, how do you rate yourself as CEO of your own business? 1 being improvement needed, and 5 being excellent, no improvement needed. Right? How do you rate yourself as CEO of your own business? One. Some more? Still thinking? Still wondering if you are the CEO? Or the question is, are you a CEO? That brought to mind a conversation that I had with someone who shared with me, or rather shared in the social media, that he was talking to a person on a chat box, or rather on a WhatsApp text chat, and he got the impression that the person is a negotiator. And when he asked for a person to send a name card, the person sent him a name card with a CEO. And so he was thinking, wow, that was very fast. From a rank suddenly become a CEO. Well, don't worry, today you are the CEO of your own company. All right? Yes, still need to improve and be motivated. Every one of us still need to improve and be motivated. And that's why we are continuing with this continuation of training, so that we all can become a better CEO of our own company, all right, of our own business, right? So today we're going to talk about being CEO of your own company and what should be done and what you should be doing, all right? So let me go to my screen, share my slides. All right. So welcome to the training on Shift Tactic 1, Ownership Mindset. I'm William Gore, a productivity coach, faculty trainer, and division director. And so Gary Keller says, we are now in the shift market, and market shift, it exposes all of us in the real estate industry. It exposes us any lack of skill, lack of lead generation, any lack of strong mindset, and any lack of basic selling. All right. So in a good market, everybody will do well. Agents will do well. Agencies will do well. And so whether you are good in lead generation or whether you are in the right mindset, it doesn't matter. Even if you are not in a good mindset or you have very low level of skills. But when the tide goes down, when the shift market comes, all the captains of ships will be exposed, all right? And if they lack of any skills, they will be exposed. If they lack of any lead generation, they will be exposed. And if they lack of any strong mindset or the right mindset, they will be exposed. And especially now in the shift market, if you lack of any basic selling or negotiations, you will be exposed, all right? So that is why, especially now when you move into a shift market, you need to be trained, you need to sharpen your saw, and you need to be in the right mindset, all right? You need to change your strategy as well, because what works then may not work now in the shift market. But there are still opportunities in the shift market. You only need to be an opportunity warrior, all right? In an opportunity warrior means you need to look for opportunities aggressively, changing your strategies where it's required moving your market, moving the locations of your market when it's necessary. Find out where the market is in a shift market, because it will be changing. All right. So your role as an opportunity warrior will have a plan and know what you should be doing at all times. All right. And so we have gone through that with you earlier in my sessions. You got to have a plan, and your plan should include one, lead generation. All right. And your plan should come from your CGI. From your CGI, you will know your career growth initiative. You will know your gross income that you need to achieve. From there, in your CGI working, the calculation, you will know the number of appointments you need to go for, the number of listings you need to get per month, and the number of listings you need to sell per year. All right. So we've got to have a plan. And what plans do you have? The GPS, or 411, the schedule, and a calendar. All right. So what's your GPS? Your GPS is your goal, priority, and your strategies. All right. Your goals, priorities, and your strategies. And if you have not attended any of our training on the GPS, please look out for one, or look out for the video. All right. So in the GPS, of course, you should have your priorities as leads as one of your priorities, listings as one of your priorities, and leverage as one of your priorities. And so in your leads as a priority, what are your strategies that you have to get your leads? So you got to set them down. You got to set them up in your GPS. What are the listings that you need to get and that you need to sell? What are the marketing strategies that you need to have so that your listings will be sold? And what are the leverage that you can have in your strategies so that you'll be able to leverage and scale your business? All right. So the 411 is basically your accountability tool and helping you to track whether you are on track towards your goal on a monthly basis and on a weekly basis. All right. Then you got to have your schedule. Don't be an agent without a schedule. An agent without a schedule means anything goes lah, and you become a very entrepreneurial person, and you go by your gut feelings and go by what you like and go by what you can do better. All right. So you got to have a schedule in every task, and every task that you need to do should be reflected in your calendar. So Gary Keller says, live by your calendar. So if nothing is in the calendar, that means it's not important, right? If it is not in your calendar, then it is not important. So that means to say all your important tasks should be in your calendar. All right. So that's the plan that you should have, starting from the GPS and then moving on to your 411 and your schedules and your calendar. Right. 3, know your strength and leverage them. Know your strength and leverage them. So as you move into a shift market, you need to know what are your strengths so that you can leverage on your strength. So like for me, my strength is teaching. So I can use my teaching skills and my strength here on teaching to teach my clients on what situation the market is in and what kind of strategy that he should use to sell the property. So that can be one of my strengths that I can use, right? Or if I'm a good communicator, so I can use my strength here to communicate the market situation, communicate the statistics of the market to my client and help them understand what kind of market they are in and help them to understand what situations they are in. All right. So know your strength and leverage on them. Right. So in a shift market, you got to be an opportunity warrior. So with that opportunity warrior, you got to look for opportunities. You got to have that opportunity mindset. And one of the opportunities that will come to you is by staying in the game. All right, staying in the game. And what's the opportunities that you have by staying in the game? Of course, one, you have the opportunity to sharpen your saw. Right? This is the time to improve your skills and your processes. This is the time to improve your skills and your processes. So kudos to you for sitting here and attending this training and other trainings that are available to you. Take this time to learn and improve, especially on the applets in command. Those are new, totally new, and therefore it is very important for you to prepare, to acquire those skills to prepare you for the coming challenging market. All right? Otherwise, you will be exposed. So this is also a good time for you to lay your good foundation for your growth of your business. Right? By staying in the game, staying in the market gives you that opportunity to lay your foundation of your growth. So look at your structure of your organization, look at the way you approach and organize your business, and look at the models that you have for your business. All right? By staying in the game, you will also gain more listings. Naturally, the listings will come from those that have already dropped out from the market, right? So those kind of listings will most likely drop to you by staying in the market. Okay. Then you also need to try to maintain the volume of your sales. If you need to stay in the market, you need to maintain the volume of the sales. By just maintaining the volume of the sales, your opportunity will be to gain market share. You will have that opportunity to gain market share. All right? So gain opportunities when markets start, and at the same time, you are setting your foundation and your opportunities to gain more opportunities when the market picks up again, right? When the market grows again. So stay in the game, all right? And so here is something that I've touched on in my last training. By staying in the game, you're keeping your same volume in the transactions in the shift market, your opportunities will come when the market starts to grow, and by then your market share will also grow. When the market grows in volume, your market share will grow in volume, and that's where your opportunity comes. All right? So stay in the game. And by staying in the game, you got to have ownership mindset. You got to have your ownership mindset. You got to be a leader of your business. You got to be bold in whatever that you need to do to keep you in the game, right? If you need to change your strategy, change your strategy. Be bold to do that. If you need to upscale your skills then. Be bold to do that. If you need to spend time to acquire skills, go for training, go for practices, go for role play, do it, right? Do it. You got to be the leader of your business and decide fast. Put some urgency into that, and be bold in whatever that you need to do to keep you in the game. All right? So our research shows that agents must take personal ownership of two actions. If you want to be continue to stay in the game, there are two actions that you need to do, definitely. And what is that? Lead generation and lead conversion. All right? No business is more important than finding a business, right? So you got to go out there and look for business. You got to do your lead generation to look for your business, to look for the leads. And now, especially now, you got to look for motivated sellers. And to do that, you may have to bring in 10 listings to find 2 motivated sellers, right? And so you got to double your lead generation. You got to double down on your lead generation time as well. And also, you got to be good at lead conversion, right? So you got to spend time working on your leads and converting them. So our research has demonstrated conclusively that the most important long-term commitment that you can make to your career in real estate is to devote several hours of every single workday to lead generate. All right? So if you want to commit to long-term commitment to your business in real estate, commit and devote to lead generation. 3 hours every day, 3 hours every day. And so we will talk more about that later on. But definitely for this point, it's already demonstrated from the research that it is a conclusive results that if you do lead generation, you'll be able to stay longer in the business. All right? So systemize everything that you need to do. What do you need to systemize? Systemize what is that very important to your business. Lead generation. All right? Put in 3 hours of habit. Do it. Be bold with that. Convert leads. Follow up on everything. All right? So no leads are bad leads. They are only bad agents. Bad agents who fail to follow up the leads. Bad agents who fail to convert those leads. So those leads that you got in through your marketing, through your advertisements, through your campaign, follow up. Now this is very important, especially in the shift market. You need to find that few buyers that are in the market. And that few buyers will most likely be in that few leads that you got in. All right? So therefore, you need to follow up very closely with them, and that's why you need to follow up on everything, all the leads that comes in. Right? So systemize everything. Systemize your lead generation. Systemize the lead generation of 3 hours that you want to put in. So how to do it? Step number 1, prepare. Step number 2, take action. And step number 3, maintain. All right? So during that lead generation time, this is what you do. Prepare, take action, maintain. In the preparation stage, this is where you assemble your call list. Who you want to call? The master list, your SOI, the leads that come in from your campaign, the leads that come from your referrals, the leads that come from your open house, the leads that comes from your virtual open house or virtual viewing or your virtual seminars. You need to call and follow up. Follow up on everything. All right? So by doing this, that means to say you need to assemble the list. For me, I would prefer to assemble the list and prepare the list a day before. All right? And so in my calendar, I will show, okay, Monday 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock lead generation. So Monday 9 o'clock, I'll be sitting in front of my computer, and I'll be sitting and be wondering, why am I sitting there? Why? Because I haven't started assembling the list of names that I need to call. So I would prefer that the list will be assembled the day before, and so come Monday morning 9 o'clock, I can start calling. Step 2, take actions. So you got to start to make those calls from the list. Call from your master list. So you decide Monday call master list, Tuesday call SOI, Wednesday call leads campaign, Thursday referrals, Friday open house leads. Right? So you need to plan out your tasks and put them in your calendar, and you know exactly on that day who you want to call. All right? So you can be also you can use this time to make follow-up calls. Follow-up calls on those clients who say they will give you a referral. Follow-up calls whom you need to follow up for an appointment. Follow-up calls on those calls that you have missed or did not pick up. All right? So that this time taking actions could also mean visiting the leads to get the listings or going for your appointments. All right? And thirdly, step number 3 is to maintain. In this area of maintaining, what do? You write thank you notes. You write follow-up notes on those people that you spoke to. Thank them for taking your call and speaking to you, and follow up in those notes on the referrals that they promised to give you. All right? Or a follow-up on the appointments. Follow-up notes to follow up with them on the appointments that you have made. All right? And then if there's an appointment, set a schedule for it. Right? Put them in your calendar, set them as a task. Or if you need to do something else for the client, like compiling market data, market information. So set a task in your calendar for that. All right. Record into your database what has transpired in the conversation, or what's next action, next task to do. Record them into your database, and maybe you can have some more personal notes on your client that you have spoken to. All right. And for me, I will also do a journal on every listings. All right. Put a record on every listings, and track your results. Track the results on the conversion from the calls to appointments, and from appointments to listings. Track your results. All right. So these are the things that you do in step number 3, that is to maintain. All right. So 3 steps in the lead generation of the 3 hours: prepare the list, take actions, and maintain. So this is how you systemize your lead generation. So you can systemize all your other tasks, all your other strategies that you want to do in your business. So this will be a good time to do it. In a good market, you may not be so organized, but you can still get away with it. But in a shift market, why don't you take this opportunity to reorganize, systemize your work so that you will be more organized and you'll be more efficient when the market picks up. All right. So be efficient and be effective. Review everything you do with a critical eye. If you have been doing lead generation and you have not been very systematic, you got to review them and make sure that it is effective and efficient. Right? Effective means a very high conversion rate. Are you calling the right people, using the right scripts, so that your conversion rate from leads to appointments is effective? Are you calling enough numbers of calls per hour, so that so that you'll be efficient? So with that means, how are you making the calls? What kind of scripts are you using? Right? So you got to look into the whole system so that you'll be effective and efficient. Focus on your 20% of your activities. Right? Focus on 20% of your activities that bring you 80% of the results. That means you work on those big rocks, those important things, those priorities that you have for your business. And if you don't have that, that means you probably don't have an agenda for your business. You probably don't have an agenda for your daily activity. And guess what? You will most likely be very busy working on other people's agenda. So you got to have a focus. By installing a good system, you will have more focus, making you more efficient and effective. So rethink on how you use and work with people. Again, what works for you in the previous market may not work now, and this will be a good time to rethink. All right, maybe if you have an assistant, how do you want to work? If you don't have an assistant, how you want an assistant to help you? Restructure as needed. Right? Again, reorganize, restructure your work, your models, and so that you'll be more efficient and effective. If you are not efficient, your structure is not very well organized, it may not affect you in a good market, but it will start to expose you in a shift market. All right? Increase accountability. Increase accountability here, it will also mean increase your tracking, increase your measurement, increase your your tracking of your progress, and so that you will know on a weekly and monthly basis whether you are hitting the numbers and whether you are on track to hit your year-end goal. Right? So quit the wrong stuff, stick with the right stuff. Have the guts to do one or the other. Right? If it's wrong, if it's not working, quit. Be bold to do that. If it is right, stick to it. Not only stick to it, scale it up. Make it more effective. Right? So whatever it is, wrong stuff, right stuff, Seth Godin says, have the guts to do it. I would say, be bold to do it. All right? Now, why do you need to systemize everything? If you are still asking that question, then you got to ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, do I want a job in real estate, or do I want to build a long-term successful real estate business? What do you want? You want a job in real estate, or you want to build a long-term successful real estate business? Again, this is the ownership mindset. This is the CEO mindset.
Seems like William is frozen. Give him a minute.
How
William, you there?
Yeah, William, I think we lost you for a moment. Are you there, William?
He has dropped out. So I think while we are waiting for William to come back, it's good that we reflect on this statement that he has made, whether you are looking for a job in real estate or building a successful real estate business for long term. If it is, then what kind of key system is you install?
Sorry?
William, just now we lost you totally because you are frozen. So after you make that statement, then you're frozen.
Which statement?
The one you want to build a long-term real estate business.
Wow, so far back. Long-term.
Yeah, from here.
What?
Yeah, that's right. After you read this statement, then you're frozen.
Oh, someone censored me, I suppose. Okay, let's keep.
Yeah.
He's frozen again.
He's actually still frozen on my screen, although we could hear him just now. So I think his internet connection is something wrong, but let's just hold a moment and give him a while.
Yeah, a real job. Do you want a real estate job, or do you want a long-term successful real estate business? All right. So I'm going to show you a video, and this video is going to talk about how to build your business from your contacts or from your database. And so from here, it is showing you another way of doing lead generation, and how from this lead generation it has benefited the business, and it has also doubled the business, and not only that, it has built the business for long term. All right. And so while you're when you watch this video, take down your ahas, then we will come back to share your ahas. All right. So this video is about 20 minutes, and you got to bear with it, and believe me, you will learn a lot. Take down the notes.
Hello, Keller Williams. I'm Jason Abrams, and we are back. Our cybernetic hug continues as we with you all day, bringing you the best and brightest from Keller Williams. We talk about not just how to survive a shift, but how to thrive in it. And I know I'm always excited, but I'm really excited about this next one because we're bringing on a mentor of mine, and his name is Mike Hicks. And I'm right here because he created a script. And the way that I heard about this script called the Promise Script was I was in Gary Keller's mastermind, and Mike was there also. And Gary came on stage one day at a mastermind, and he said, I'm going to show you guys the most powerful script in real estate, one of the most powerful ones we have. And then he brought out Mike Hicks, who is, he's going to close 600 units in this small town, and he explained to us the magic of this thing, and it changed my business because I took it and I used it, and there's no question that it's made me a better real estate agent and a better human, and I'm grateful. Mike, how are you, sir?
Hey, it's a fine day. It's a good day, right? Full of opportunity.
Absolutely. And did I get this right? I mean, I know the background. You're actually coming to your Keller Williams family from a hospital today. You're seeing your wife through knee surgery. Is that right?
That's correct. She actually just came out of the surgery and they've moved her up to recovery, waiting for her to wake up. Yeah, they replaced her knee. So we had a few minutes here, so thought we'd take advantage. I may end up abbreviating if they come out to get me, but hopefully we'll get through this.
Well, I was worried they might need you to come in and actually help perform the surgery because you're good at everything, but I feel much better about this now. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So, long-time listener, first-time caller. I've never actually told you face-to-face how powerful your script is and how it literally changed the course of my business, which ultimately changed the course of my life. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
Yeah.
walk me back. What was the genesis of coming up with the Promise script?
So it really started, for those of you who can think about this, some of you are younger than what I'm about to say. We'll give my age up here. But in 1988, I started real estate, and all we had was our MLS book and our signs and advertising in the local newspaper. So we didn't have the internet. We just had none of those things to generate leads. So first off, we had to be really, really good at conversion over the phone.
I think my connection is a bit out just now, so I will retrack a bit so that you can listen to the others.
Changed the course of my business, which ultimately changed the course of my life. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
Yeah.
walk me back. What was the genesis of coming up with the Promise script?
So it really started, for those of you who can think about this, some of you are younger than what I'm about to say. We'll give my age up here. But in 1988, I started real estate, and all we had was our MLS book and our signs and advertising in the local newspaper. So we didn't have the internet. We just had none of those things to generate leads. So first off,
Okay, he's really dropped out now. Let's wait for him to come
Yeah.
back. Apologies, we really apologize for this hiccup. But I think William is trying to get back. I'm just trying to text him as well. Yeah. Okay, he's back. Hi, welcome back, William. I think the internet was really choppy. So yeah, let me just make you co-host, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. My internet connection got a problem. So let me replay that video, backtrack, and then we will start from there again.
Make sure to share the sound as well, William. Otherwise, it's very soft.
Yeah, let me do it again. Huh?
All right.
Share sound. Okay, let's do it again.
Cybernetic hug continues as we with you all day bringing you the best and brightest from Keller Williams. We talk about not just how to survive a shift, but how to thrive in it. And I know I'm always excited, but I'm really excited about this next one because we're bringing on a mentor of mine, and his name is Mike Hicks. And I'm right here because he created a script. And the way that I heard about this script called the Promise Script was I was in Gary Keller's mastermind and Mike was there also. And Gary came on stage one day at a mastermind and he said, I'm going to show you guys the most powerful script in real estate. One of the most powerful ones we have. And then he brought out Mike Hicks, who is, he's going to close 600 units in this small town. And he explained to us the magic of this thing. And it changed my business because I took it and I used it. And there's no question that it's made me a better real estate agent and a better human. And I'm grateful. Mike, how are you, sir?
Hey, it's a fine day. It's a good day, right? Full of opportunity.
Absolutely. And did I get this right? I mean, I know the background. You're actually coming to your Keller Williams family from a hospital today. You're seeing your wife through knee surgery. Is that right?
That's correct. She actually just came out of the surgery and they've moved her up to recovery, waiting for her to wake up. Yeah, they replaced her knee. So we had a few minutes here, so thought we'd take advantage. I may end up abbreviating if they come out to get me, but hopefully we'll get through this.
Well, I was worried they might need you to come in and actually help perform the surgery because you're good at everything, but I feel much better about this now. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So long-time listener, first-time caller. I've never actually told you face-to-face how powerful your script is and how it literally changed the course of my business, which ultimately changed the course of my life. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So walk me back. What was the genesis of coming up with the Promise Script?
So it really started, for those of you who can think about this, some of you are younger than what I'm about to say. We'll give my age up here. But in 1988, I started real estate, and all we had was our MLS book and our signs and advertising in the local newspaper. So we didn't have the internet. We just had none of those things to generate leads. So first off, we had to be really, really good at conversion over the phone, which I became very skilled at, because when people called in, the good news about this was for people to learn about houses or get information about houses, they did have to call us. So that was the strong part of this. They didn't have other avenues to get information. So those sign calls and newspaper calls were good ones, but we also had to be good at conversion and capture. So I became very good at that. I did not have a sphere here. We were new to the area. So I was not the guy who was going to knock doors. I was not the guy who was going to open up the phone book and start making calls. So I just became determined that everybody who got into my space, that I had an opportunity to interact, would do one of two things. They would either send me business or tell me why they didn't. And the second one's probably the gold nugget, everybody. I mean, it really is, because if you can if you can develop the skin to ask why people don't send you business, you'll find out what you need to do inside your practice to make you great at what you do, to make it easy for them to recommend you.
So you're new to this area, you're a transplant there, you come up with this concept, you don't want to knock on doors, you want to either get business sent to you or understand why they don't, and the idea there is to understand if they're not, what you can do different. So there was a million different ways to try to do that, and it seems like you took the most simple approach, which is I think the genius of this, which is you decided that every conversation was going to matter.
They were going to matter. So the first part of this was that, one, I wanted to let them know what my intentions were for them and that I was all about them and inside the business, and if I took care of them, I felt like I would be taken care of through the process. And I was going to rely on that to be a truth until proven that it wouldn't be. And so it really, Jason, it started very simply. It's a long script today because it evolved with the times, right? Times changed. How we express, how we describe what the competition, the internet, I mean, everything changes to interfere with our relationship, so it became more detailed. But it began with simply just telling folks, so Jason, I want to make sure you understand that I'm all about you, that I want to create an amazing experience for you, that you really can't see getting any better, and I'm developing systems to do that, and just basically said, and so that's what I want to do. And I hope that when I do that, you're going to give out my name. And it really was that. It started out saying, and then I'm going to count on you to give out my name. And I hope you'll send me business. And then if you don't, while we're working together, I'm going to want to ask you, find out why not. And it was literally that direct, that short. And I had that with everybody. And I was clear with you in the beginning. I told them that, one of my goals was that while we were working together, that they would send business, and if they didn't, I'd want to find out why, what I could do differently in order to make it easy for them to do that. And that was the conversation.
It sounds like such a simple human interaction, and yet the idea of, I want to provide this 10+ experience, that everyone in my world is going to be focused on doing it, and if we do it, I'd like you to promise me something, which is you'll let me talk to someone about residential real estate.
Right. Real estate in general, whatever it happened to be. And so if you think about this, Jason, I mean, simple numbers. If you're, and keep in mind, people refer business to me that have never done business with me. This is an important thing because we have the conversation and we may provide them service even though they haven't done business with us. They call you, they need, I mean, in today's world, we don't have enough contractors. They call you asking for an electrician, a plumber, whoever it is. You help them even though they haven't done business with you. At some point in time, that worm will turn, right? So, but if you work with 20 people, get in their space, just 20 people in the first year, and those 20 people, if out of those 20 people, they either send you business or tell you why they didn't, which by the way, when you do that and you do something with it, it's amazing what it does to that relationship with folks, especially when you thank them for that feedback. So, if in 1 year you take your business from 20 transactions to 40 transactions, I mean, that is huge. That's doubling your business. It's enormous. And then if in the second year you go from 40 to 80, I mean, if you're achieving it is honestly, it is proven, it is the fastest way. I mean, you can pay for leads, you can pray for leads, or you can perform and get leads. And which one sounds better?
Oh, I love that. You can pay for them, you can perform, you can 100%. Here's the takeaway that I'm getting, right? And I've had the pleasure of actually using it in my business. But right now, the entire world is talking about geometric growth in a way that scares us all to death. What Mike's talking about is geometric growth within your business. Think about this doubling effect. There is not a major team within our company. I know this because I've heard Gary say it. That doesn't look up one day and say, how can I double my business while adding no new expenses? And that's the beauty of this promise script. Gary's fond of saying that everything naturally wants to become more complex, but that all success is found in simplicity. And the ultimate simplicity of Mike, when you say, everyone in my world is dedicated to this 10+ experience. If you get it, I urge you, you got to connect me with someone to talk about real estate. And if we're at the closing table with each other and you haven't given me someone to talk to, I'm going to ask you why. It seems so
Please
human.
tell me. And please tell me, and you know what, even for those that went well, that tell you, hey, Mike, it was amazing, and they go through that. I apologize for the background
No,
noise
you're
there,
good.
guys. Even in those cases, if you'll ask them, if you'll, I mean, you just say, Jason, thank you. I'm so glad it went well. But just tell me, is there any one thing while you and your wife were together and you were talking, is there any one thing that you said to each other, I wish Mike was doing this, or I wish they were doing that? Is there anything that comes to mind? Just anything at all, please tell me. And sometimes people give you the most amazing nuggets. Even the people that were really, really happy with what you're doing will give you more that you can implement into your business. So I want to, you're talking about, and I talked about, you can pay, you can pray, or you can go perform and get leads. In 2013, with Keller Williams, I was the #3 transaction site closing agent as an individual agent. My team didn't form until 2014. I did 303 transactions in 2013, and it was me. I did have a showing assistant that helped, and then, of course, Nicole, Janelle, and a couple folks helping me close all that. 100% of that was repeat and referral. All of it was repeat and referral. And guess how much my advertising budget was?
Wait a minute, because I'm going to push back on you a little bit, because I had heard this. I've never actually got to ask you firsthand and be candid. I kind of thought that there may have been an element of truth to it, but in my mind, there was no way that was 100% true, because in order to do 300 plus transactions, you need ISAs and marketing budgets and print media and all these things. You're telling me that you did it all with the power of humanity and the power of your words?
Yes, repeat and referral all the way, 100% of that. And you know, that's because you're doing business with intention. But here's the other thing. Keep in mind, all of those people did business with me because they wanted to do business with me. That changes everything. The lead that we pay for, they come in, we're somewhere, they may or may not have had great experiences with real estate. You don't have credibility. They don't know you from Adam. You haven't been recommended. None of these things. And so when they come to you and want to do business with you, it changes everything for your whole system, not just for you as your agent, but for everybody working on your team. Everybody. There's trust there's so much stuff that's granted: trust, credibility, knowledge. All these things are granted and assumed, and people immediately start relying on you. That's a whole different business than a business that's coming 80% from cold business that you're having to develop, nurture, and warm up.
Well, yeah, there's this general universal truth, and I say it every time I get a camera in front of me. That's people do business with people they like. And there's no technology that's going to move that off. There's no algorithm. And that's why some of the competitors in your world have a really difficult time competing, because while they're looking for a silver bullet or something to say, gosh, how do we take that market share back? You've created unrecruitable customers because they know how much you care and they like you. Am I hearing it right?
Yeah. It's Gary is always talking about try to, set up your moat, protect your boundaries, protect your clients, try not to let other things interrupt your relationships. And I'm not telling you it's 100% effective. Relationships do change over time. We change over time. And we do have to grow those databases. It's just crucial that in your business that you're stating what it is that you're going to do, that you really, truly are in it for them, that you're really going to take care of them. Stuff is going to happen. No matter how well we plan, things are going to happen. But no matter how sideways we get, we're always in your corner doing your thing. And when we deliver this amazing experience for you, we want you to make sure that folks have a chance for the same experience. And you'll call, text, or email us. And asking, you can't think about it being osmosis, right? It doesn't happen by osmosis. Now, we're at a time right now, right, where we're talking about doing things with our database. And so there's folks listening today that say, well, I've got people I closed business with 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't talked to them since then. And you also, of course, have the easy people that you are doing business with today in some form. In some form, you're doing business with them today. Be sure to go back and state what you're going to do. For the people you've done business with in the past, A great way to go back into them, of course, you have to gauge this with your relationship a little bit. Don't give yourself excuses, but go back and call them. First say, gosh, I know it's been a long time. How are you? How are you? Do the Ford thing, the family, occupation, recreation. Make it a call. Do that call, decide whether you can take that next step and just say, hey, I'm surveying my business. I'm surveying my business. How did it go? When we were working together, I never asked you, and now I want to know. I hope it's not too late. I want to know, how did it go? And open yourself up, be vulnerable. Make sure you find out for them how it went. And if it didn't go great, say, oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me, why do you feel that way? Please tell me more about that. I can't fix my business if I don't know. And ask them for the thing.
I love that. It's such a human thing. And by the way, let's just play along. If you're playing along at home right now, let's do a show of hands. Raise your hand if any of you have past customers that you haven't spoken to on the phone in the last 120 days. Cool. Now that all of you are raising your hand, understand this opportunity that we were just given, this gift of curiosity, not about their real estate plans, but about your real estate business. You see, all of us are owners of companies, and when you look up at the greatest companies in the world, you realize that they have entire departments that are based around getting feedback on what they're doing. Think about every time you've called Verizon or you call Delta or you call any of these companies and they say, and would you mind taking a 1-minute survey? And there's a cohort of people that click yes, and there's a cohort that click no. But friends, if you don't ask them to take the survey so that you can learn about what you're doing right, how can you possibly understand what their experience has been? This time of shift right now and uncertainty, Mike, I made the argument earlier today that we have this opportunity for a winter of renewal, meaning that there's a certain time of the year, this December, January, every year, we're talking to people who we may not have spoken to in the last 12 months. It somehow feels okay. Right now, reaching out and maybe calling someone who can't leave the house or all of a sudden is getting less human interaction. I don't think we've ever had a chance to positively affect this many people simply by being human.
And by making the call, you know, people, the point of these calls often isn't to get business as you're reinvigorating or trying to reestablish a relationship. I'll tell you what one of the biggest surprises are. Is that when you call people and you find out that, hey, they had a great experience, they're very happy with you and they're very happy to hear from you. And when you ask the question, so I am curious, have you given my name out to anybody? You'll be surprised how often they're going to say, oh yeah, I've been recommending you to everybody all this time. And you had no idea that you had an advocate sitting out there, none. Huh. So this is a wonderful discovery that you also have the opportunity for and can create either during that phone call or a phone call to come up very soon to go in and teach them how to send you business. And also to make sure when you're going through these calls, again, remember, pretty much no matter where you are, people need things done to their homes. They can't get anybody to call them back to help them with their homes. You are a valuable resource for them. Reestablish yourself as a resource. Maybe you're not asking for anything up front, but you're reestablishing yourself as a resource. Go back and get business from them later. You have to build from somewhere. If you've let that relationship go, don't think you can just, and it's back. Sometimes that will happen. You'll be surprised. Sometimes that will happen. But and even go for the folks that you assumed their experience was bad. Now, if you guys just had no magic or they really were jerks, just leave them alone, right? Choose your poison. But there are transactions that may have gone hard that still closed. People seemed okay. To go back to those to find out what you could have done differently is really a crucial thing.
I heard a variation, and I don't know if I heard you speaking, and I'm the guy sitting there feverishly taking notes anytime you open your mouth, because I know that I'm in some big markets, and you're in a relatively small market, and you're still closing 600 units. And so any real estate agent out there who thinks that they're in a small market and the dream of unlimited real estate resource can't happen to you, please understand that a small market is sometimes a gift, because it's one where relationships are valued, Mike.
It's such a reversal for me. You know, for a long time, I've thought to myself, well, we can't do that here. Our market's too small. And now I hear people in the big market saying, well, Mike, that won't work. Our market's too big. There's too much competition. I think that's all just, you know, that's the drunk monkey on your shoulder. Honestly, to goodness, this works. Personal relationships work everywhere. They work everywhere without exception, all day, every day. And so if you're into the folks you're doing business with and you're really truly taking care of them, they will remember you. It's just a matter of how you instruct and teach and commit.
I love it. And so, friends, let's just recap this thing. Mike, tell me if I get any of this wrong, because I studied all last night to be able to do this with you. And I feel like I'm a struggling singer who's talking to like Billy Joel or something here. So here's how I think about the promise script. I break it into a few parts. Number one, making sure that whoever I'm talking to is really clear that my mission in real estate is to give them a 10+ experience. However, I'm defining that. Number two is asking them if I can be in business with them. Number three is getting their agreement that while we're in business, or even if we're not, they'll tell one person about what I do and how I do it and ask for permission for me to talk to them. And if they go the extra mile, it's to give me that person's contact info so I can make sure that that conversation happens. Do I have it right?
Got the idea of it, you do. Yep, the first part is just saying, yep, hey, this is what we're going to deliver and it's going to be amazing. And when we do that, we want you to send us business. We want to, I mean, this is a relationship. I'm about you, hopefully you're about me. The third part of it is just making it really clear how you're asking them to send that business. And the fourth part is, if you don't, I want to find out why so we can improve and make you feel better and me too. But to also make the commitment, hey, we are going to deliver, so I am going to count on that referral.
You also told the group, you said, and this is not a promise that I live. This is a promise that my administrative people live. It's a promise that my showing assistant lives. And now it's a promise that my whole team lives. And you said that I'd be well served to do role play with my administrative people so that when they call to introduce themselves and say, hey, I know you listed your house with us last night. Did Mike tell you about our promise? Is that still the thing?
It's still the thing. In fact, I would tell you that inside an organization, that if you have an average agent and you have an amazing success team that's driven at creating this great client experience, that our clients will have an amazing experience. You can have an exceptional agent, but a very average success team. In other words, they're just, they do okay. And the client's going to have an average experience. So building that base for the people that are really with you day in and day out is crucial. It's all the difference. So yes, it has to be systemic. If it's just you, it's not going to work. It has to be, you've got a team, your whole team, everybody on your team needs to know it, talk about it, and believe in it.
And this thing works, Mike, no matter what's going on in the market. This shift, which by the way, there's always uncertainty. When the times are good, there's uncertainty of when they're going to get bad. When the times are bad, there's uncertainty of when it's going to get good again. This works no matter what's happening, right? It's the rocket fuel for conversation.
So think about the year that I told you was my big year, and think about when our market started to recover, 2013. So 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, I was growing my market share. Now, was my business up? No, my business wasn't up. There was enough decline in the business nationally. However, my market share was growing. Then as the market started to recover, my business exploded because my market share changed. Now it became about at least maintaining my market share. With that increased business base created a huge change in business. So it's, no matter what our market is, it's always an opportunity.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Hicks, one of my mentors. Mike, thank you so much. Prayers are with you for your wife's recovery. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. My best to everybody. Go out and do it.
Keller Williams, stay with us.
All right, so it's been about 20 minutes of a video, and what's your aha from here? What have you learned from here? Take a few minutes to think through and type it out on the chat box. Hopefully you have taken some notes along the way. Right, every conversation matters, right? So those conversations are getting back to the clients and talk about their experience with you, and if they would give you a referral, all right? If they would give you, pass your names and your numbers to their friends. So basically, the conversation is about asking them to give you a referral. It's how you do it, and that is talking about their experience with you first, right? So personal relationship works everywhere, yes. So even if it's a good time, good market, bad market, personal relationship works, and most importantly, it works even better than technology. All right, so this is one way to face the challenges of interruptions. Right, referrals are better people than leads. Yes, compared to the leads that you get from your campaign and all that, referrals are always much higher, has a higher success rate, and you break the ice much faster, right? Because of the referrals, of a trust that is created by the referee, right? Business creation asks for referrals. Experience feedback, referrals are better. Let me see, business creation. Yes, it's a business creation by itself, and it's a business by itself, right? And he says all his transactions 100% from referrals and repeat business, and he spends 0 on marketing, all right, 0 on advertisements. Just by doing that, just by asking for referrals and repeat business, and just by making those calls and creating and developing that relationship, all right? So establish yourself as a resource. Yes, you want them to come to you for resources, for information, for services, other kind of services, all right, that you can refer them to. Okay, team works better, right? Very important. If you have a team, your team and you must have the same standard of service, and so that so that the customer, the client, will have the same experience across the board. All right. So it is about personal relationship and asking for referrals, right? Perform for leads. Don't pray for leads. Leads won't drop by. Teamwork, trust, accomplishment, very good. Power of 10+ experience, all right? So let me show you, give you a summary of that, and go back to my slides. And here it is. I just give you a quick summary. So the conversation is, you tell them you want to give them a 10+ experience in the real estate services that you provide, and you ask them, would you want to be in business with me? And if you will you tell someone about me? And if you will go further by giving that person number to me, if not, why? Help me improve further. All right. So if they say no, they did not have a 10+ experience, help me understand that. Help me to improve my business. So people will give you business even if they haven't done business with you, because you call and have that conversation with you. So if they are prospective buyers or sellers, you didn't manage to close a deal for them or close a deal with them, doesn't matter. You can still call them because they know you, they have dealt with you before, they met you. You can still call them and have these kind of conversations for a referral, right? So people will give you referral even if they have not. Okay, next one is you pay, or you can pay, or you can pray, or you can perform and get leads, right? So get on it, be bold to do that. Go and perform and get leads. Have that conversation with your client. 100% repeat and referrals, that's what your benefit will be. People will do business with people they like. So with that conversation, building that relationship, they will like to do business with you. They are happy and comfortable with you. They will give you business. And that's the way to beat technology disruption. All right? So personal relationship works anywhere and anytime. Stay in the game to gain the market share. So he also talked about about his experience of staying in the game and gain market share. All right? So if you want to imitate Hicks, what is the most crucial thing that you must have to succeed? If you want to imitate Hicks, what is the most crucial thing that you must have to succeed? What would that be for you? Type in the chat box. What would that be for you? Susan, you asked for a slide. Let me go that again. Okay, take a screenshot on that. All right, take a screenshot on that. Personal relationship works anywhere. You just have to take the initiative to give them a call, have that kind of conversation to build that relationship. Stay in the game, all right? And so calling people that you've met, you've dealt with before is much easier, all right? Of course, much easier than cold call, maybe even easier than the leads that you get from your advertisements, all right? So if you want to imitate Hicks, what is the most crucial thing that you must have to succeed? What would that be? Patience and trust, strong sense of purpose, and also a person where clients depends on. Yep. Team we trust. Well, for me, first thing that you must have, very crucial, is a plan. And with that plan, you must have the schedule and the timing and the list of people you want to call and the scripts that you want to use. That's a solid plan. That will be a solid plan. All right? And what is crucial? Your contacts, your database. That is crucial. Okay? Right, so I think we are coming up with time, and we will stop here for one more slide I want to show you, and which is very important, and that is champions don't become champions when they win an event, but in the hours and weeks and months and years they spend preparing for it. So if you see those people on the podium at the Olympics getting their gold medal, they are not champions when they step on the podium. They are champions way before, because of the hours, the weeks, and the months they spend preparing for it. All right? So don't put away this training without developing a plan to put what you have learned into action. So my next question is, what's your action plan? What's your action plan? So while you're thinking through, I will pass the time to virtual support for the announcements.
All right. Okay, so thank you, William. We have Mega Camp coming up. So Mega Camp is on the 23rd to 26th of August. This is actually a yearly event that is organized by KW in the US, and it's mainly targeted for producing and high producing agents, right? So if you're an agent in business and you're a producing agent, you might want to consider signing up for this. Normally, it's a physical event held in Austin, Texas, but due to the pandemic, it will be held virtually. So tickets are $69 US, and if you are interested to sign up for this event, please contact your market center. If you're a guest, you can contact the person who referred to you here, or you can just email hello@refill.com. All right, so do take note that this event follows a US timing, yeah, so means that the live seminars and all would be our late night or early morning. But there's always a replay. You can just replay it whenever you want. So yeah, do consider signing up for this. Okay, we have a very special session on Thursday night. This is only open to KW Malaysia agents. Yeah, so it's an internal event. It's our state of company for the first half of 2021. So we will be touching on our performance of the first half, January to June of this year. And then we will also bring to you what we have in store for our second half of the year, right? There'll be two special guest speakers all the way from KW Worldwide. James Shaw and Belle Elvira will be joining us to bring us new insights on what we have, right? So they also will be telling us what's new, what's launching. I think James Shaw will probably be talking about Shift Market, right? So do come on and do tune in, and you will probably get the link from your market center support. So please do tune in, because we have a lot of things that we want to announce to you as well. As we are still an MCO, we can't carry on with business as usual, right? So we still have our White Flag Relief Fund. that we have extended until August the 1st. So if you're a registered REN and you are facing financial difficulties in your business, right, because you can't do showings, viewings and stuff, you can apply for this 200 ringgit cash relief, right? So we will be paying you 200 ringgit. You need to fill in the Google form, no questions asked, just fill in your details and all. And next slide, please. Yeah, so our goal was 50,000. As of yesterday, we have collected, we have paid out 43,000 and helped 217 agents, right? And yeah, as I'll say, our goal is 50,000. We are only 2,000 ringgit short of our goal, right? So next slide, please. Here are 3 ways that you can actually support us. Firstly, you can actually make a cash donation if you have surplus or extra you want to give, right? You can do a bank transfer, or you can even use our e-payment gateway through GrabPay, Touch 'n Go wallet, credit card. And you know, GrabPay, if you pay, then you get some Grab points. So yeah, you can either do a cash donation. Secondly, you can actually deduct from your commission that it is coming in for this week or next week. Kind of thing. You just inform your market center support that you want to donate to this White Flag Relief Fund, and they'll make the necessary arrangements lah. Okay, but if you're unable to contribute, you don't really have commission coming in, you yourself are a bit tight, right? What you can do is you can actually forward this to someone that you think maybe can help us, right? Will be able to make a contribution, right? So okay, finally, this is our national consumer campaign. Every Thursday, Regional will upload new content for you to actually touch base with your clients and sign up with them. So yeah, do use this to touch base with your clients and customers, right? So yes, I think that's all for now. Yeah. So with that, we have come to the end of our shift series, right? So we have a month long of shift series, and next month we will be starting a new series called Ways to Win, right? For the month of August, that's our new topic, and this our new theme. So the training calendar will be out soon, probably out tomorrow. So do look out for it. And with that, thank you, William, for your time, and thank you for coming on for the past 4 weeks. You know, if you realize William was on every Wednesday morning. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and everyone have a good day.